Right, welcome, viewing several. So I'm just packing up. I've just unpinned all this horrible old track. So we'll get this back in the box first. And there we have it, bada bar, bada bing. So we're back in the box. So we'll put this set's going away. So the next thing to do, I've got 4 sets to unbox and take a look at. So we'll have a look at what's coming up with those in a sec. Right, as you can see, we've got 4 boxes have arrived this week. I've got a feeling that all of these, I put bids on about 6 or 7 things. And I think these are all ones that I've won with no other bidders. I was outbid on a couple, and I didn't rebid because I just thought, you know, I'll just let someone else win those if they want them. So I quite like buying the ones that nobody bids on, which is what I mostly do. So I think I only paid £20 odd for most of each of these. I think this one is probably a novelty thing that was about £15 or less. So we'll see what we've got. If I remember correctly, I think there is like a Tomy Play Trains type set that was really cheap, that was unboxed, that I thought I just wanted to have a look at. There is a Marks set, which I don't know how complete it is, but came in a bundle with a load of stuff. I think that one was a buy it now for £19, and I just bought it. And there's a couple of early Triangle sets, I think, with the grey plastic bed standard track. Now I haven't got any standard track until now, and the reason I bought 2 sets is because they were cheap. I think £21 and £22, and I'm hoping that between the 2 sets there'll be enough of that track that I can get a loop working. So we'll get these unboxed and see what's in them. Let's get on with that. So probably start with this one. Right, I'm not sure how well this will work. I don't normally do this, but we'll film it and see what we can edit out of it, if anything. So I'll probably have to speed up. Or I think with the speed up stuff is it makes iMovie doesn't seem to like it, and you sort of end up with the sound being almost impossible for it to encode when it's speeded up, and you end up having to remove the soundtrack, detach the audio. But if I remember to do that, perhaps we can do that. So this has been very well wrapped up, but we will, let's see if we can get into it. Okay, without cutting my hand off. So I suspect this one is going to be, yes, this is the one I mentioned, which is one of these Tomy kind of toy train things with this kind of rail, which slots together, I guess, like that. Okay, interesting. It's a battery operated thing as far as I know. I just thought it was very cheap, and I thought, well, I'll buy it, a Japanese one. Let's have a look. I think that's just, I'll look at that later. I think that's just packaging. So we've got some more track. I think that's just straight track. Let's have a look. Yeah, so I think, make sure there's nothing else in there, and we'll have a look at the train itself. I'll just make sure there's nothing in this. That's just packaging. Some interesting over the years, the stuff you buy, you see lots of interesting packaging innovation. And I recently bought a guitar, and the seller had used balloons as part of the packaging, which I thought was quite interesting. Yeah, so you get this. You can see there's a there's a battery thing there. I can't see a battery cover, so maybe that's missing. It doesn't really matter. This is really just, I wanted to get one just to see what it was. It's incredibly cheap. Thought it might be fun to just play with, because I like to review, as well as kind of traditional train sets, I do like to have a little look at some more unusual toy trains as well. So I've never seen one of these, and I do believe you can still get this, but the track is generally blue. So this grey one, so yeah, there's no battery cover that I can find, but it probably won't need it. You can probably put 2 AA batteries in there. I'm not going to test it now. I think what we'll do is well, if it works, we'll do an episode, or I might do I might lump this in with the episode that I do on plastic battery toy trains, because I've got a few sets to review on that, which I've bought over the years and haven't got round to. So I've got a couple of these ones as well, which are these Toy Town series things, HO gauge. So again, that you can pick those up for peanuts. Whether they work, I've yet to really establish. So sometimes when the success, it might be limited, or they might not work so well, or there's no packaging, they don't warrant a whole episode on their own. So I think this one, and at least 2 of those things, and possibly some other toy ones, will cover in a sort of plastic recycling special. I'll probably do a tin plate special. I'm planning a tin plate special for kind of clockwork tin plate sets, which include little ones that go round and back and forth and things. So this one will be part of the plastic one. So that's that one. Let's move on to the next. Right, the second one, chocolate fudge cake. So will it be as good as chocolate fudge cake, or will I wish that it was actually that? So we'll find out, won't we, I guess. Right, let's have a go of this one. Let's go down here. Yeah, so okay, so let's have a look. Ooh. Okay, I think this is a triangle set. Let's find out. Oh, goodness me. Right. Interesting. Yeah. Oh yes. So yeah, this is another one from my set, my collection of trying stuff. Right, so R3X goods train. We've got the 2 boys there. Let's call them Stephen and Peter. The young Peter there is the younger brother, I guess. Let's just have a quick look inside. Now, normally what I will do with these sets is... interesting. Yeah, so I'll have a proper check out of it, but it's got this, which... I've got lots of trying stuff, but I've never had the standard track before. So this is why I wanted one of these sets, and the reason I bought 2, because it wasn't clear that you had the whole oval. But actually, I must say that doesn't look too bad. It looks like that will clean up quite nicely. So yeah, that's the pre-19. That's like a early 50s. I can't remember when the Series 3 came out, if it was 1958 or 1950, earlier than that. You can see we've got some warpage on there, but yeah, I mean that looks I think they might be supposed to go on there. I'm not sure. They often used to use these rings as packing material to go between the couplings like that, but yeah, no, that looks okay. And of course we've got this, which is a very early Ginty, which has got the no wheel flanges in the middle. right, let's have a look. Yeah, Triang Railways. It's not a smoke because it's got the, so the early Ginties, they have the screw in there, unless they are the synchro smoke ones where the screw is here so that you've got the funnel is clear for the smoke to come out, or the steam, whichever you want to call it. I think it's synchro smoke, but it might be synchro steam, the SS. But yeah, that looks pretty good. And what we've got is one of these controllers, which I may not actually use this. We'll see. I'll have to give it a bit of a test with the old, you know, make sure it's not going to electrocute me. We'll have a proper look at this later. You know, it'll get its own episode, and I'm fairly confident this will run. You've got the instructions on the bottom of the lid. So this is an early set, early 50s, I'm guessing. Certainly pre-58 with this track, I think. So yeah, that's a good one. I'm happy with that. That's good. I look forward to making, maybe that's the next episode. So there's that one. Right, let's move on to the next box, shall we? We got this one. Right, here we go. Get the knife in. Slit this down there. Oh, crikey. This is also Triang. Okay, good. This is my, so I bought 2 sets just because I bid on them both, and I don't think anyone else did. But I was kind of going to get at least one set, you know, at least 2 sets with standard track, because, you know, I wanted to make sure that, because you don't always get the complete set when you buy them this cheap. So with any luck, I will have enough track to make a loop out of this standard track. So let's try not to be too impatient. Let's a judicious cut there. I'm not too worried about the boxes because these are battered old things. So they're not minters. I don't collect minters because oh look, we got Stephen and Peter again, if that's what they're going to be called, which I've decided it is. Okay, so is this a Princess Elizabeth or Princess Victoria? Princess Elizabeth. Nice. Now this really is old. You can see you've got the early plastics warping on the coaches. You've got one of these controllers. Oh gosh, yeah. Now I like these because I think you can usually, oh now, how do we, yes, okay, that's obviously the short circuit protection or, you know, trip out thing. I've not seen one of these before. This is really early. So I'm assuming that I have to put in 12 volts one side and I'll get the, you know, the output from the other side. So I'll need to do a bit of research on that. But because it's not a mains one, I'm quite happy to play around with these because what I tend to do is use a modern AC adapter to give me, you know, 12 volts DC, and I can use these. The Hornby 00 ones like this are rather good if you just get, you know, the old power supply from an old BT hub. They want you to send the old hubs back to them in a bag, and I usually keep the power supply because A, they're useful, and B, sometimes they're plugged in behind a cabinet or something and I just can't be bothered to unplug them, and I would just use them with if they've got the compatible thing, I'll just use them with the new hub and keep the new one as a spare. But they're very useful for these types of controller, particularly the Hornby 00 ones. So let's have a look. Yeah, well that's interesting. Again, I've never played with this track, so I really don't know I mean, I don't know whether it's supposed to go together absolutely flush or whether that's good enough, because I think the rails have got no gap in. And yeah, so you can see that lug appears to have gone, located itself in there. Okay, so we might actually have enough track. We might actually have, this has got quite a lot of track. Don't know what radius it is, we'll find out. Yeah, so I'm actually very pleased to have some of this track, because this is I've now got 2 sets with it. My other Princess Elizabeth set was in very poor condition. In the video I had to replace some of I've replaced the whole front truck thing, pony truck, and it was actually a Princess, I can't remember if it was an Elizabeth or a Victoria, but whichever one it was, I think it was an Elizabeth, but it should have been the Victoria. And the Elizabeth did come back, but it was later and it was in a red livery, and it was a bit nicer. This is a very early one, but we should be able to get this running. So again, that's quite a nice one. So I'm still very far from having every Triang set in my collection. But yeah, so we've got one R1X and R3X. Excellent. So that's 2 good episodes coming up. Right, now the final box, I've saved this till the end. The reason being, because it should be the most unusual one. And it's a set that I've been looking at these on and off when they've come up. They don't come up that often. And sometimes people want silly money for them, and they're always in extremely poor condition. So again, this could be, as you know, if you've watched my series, you'll know that I have quite a lot of sets that really do need quite a bit of work to get running. So this could be another one that's gonna take a lot of doing. I don't know. If it does, it might not appear, its episode might not appear for, you know, a while. I've had a lot of Trix Twin stuff for ages, and I haven't got it running well enough yet to do an episode on it, but that will get done as well. So what have we got in here? Let's find out, shall we? Let's have a look. Oh, this is upside down. Here we go. There we go. Isn't that a beautiful looking box? Battery operated, forward and backward, Continental Express, HO gauge. So I do believe this is Marks, but it might not be Marks. It might be another make. Let's have a look. I can't remember now. Empire made. See, that dates it, doesn't it? It's made, Empire made. Wow. So you can see it's got the bits, the missing box pieces. It's got some of the instructions. Look at that. Track pieces. Now the control box is one of these battery boxes that's meant to look like a building. And you get this. Let's have a look at this. Ooh, so we've got some issues here that might need resolving, or might not be resolvable. I don't know. It looks like that had been held on by elastic band or something. Or maybe it doesn't need it. Maybe it just sits on its weight, and that's fine, because that, okay, that probably could work. Motors in the middle. I'm not sure how it drives the it looks to me like it's elastic band driven, and it looks like that's the remains of the belt. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to need to make or fashion a couple of these belts. Hopefully I will just be able to use an elastic band, and it obviously just goes on. You can see there's a shaft there, and I'll need to open it up and then put a band around it. And I've got a big box, because I've got a few elastic band driven locos, vintage locos. So you know, I bought a big bag of elastic bands, so I should be able to find something for that. It should be possible to get something running. I might be able to come up with a slightly better solution, but you know, I think I paid 20 quid for this, so I'm quite happy at that price. I've seen these in worse condition, and that they want, you know, I've seen them for like 80, 90, 100 quid, but it's obviously I'm not going to pay that for one of these. But I think it was, as I say, I think it was £19.95, and I thought, for me, even if I can't get that working, it's worth it to have it in the box, you know, with the lid and everything. So I'm actually quite pleased with that. But that's not the end of the story, because that's not all there was in this lot. This came from a charity shop, so I got some extra bits. So let's have a look what else we got. I think it was just a few pieces of Hornby track, of unknown vintage, but I suspect 70s, 80s maybe. So it came with these parts. I think that's it. I'll have a look through the empty boxes, because maybe the battery cover for that other Japanese thing's in there, maybe it's not. I won't throw anything away till I've checked it all thoroughly again. This is the beauty of these kind of these lots. Oh, look at that. Very dirty, very rusty. I mean, it will go in the box of track. May get a use, may not. You know, I'm going to be building a big 00 layout in my shed when I get it done, and it's going to have a lot of old Hornby track and a lot of old Super 4 trying track loops. So, you know, you never know, maybe I'll use these. But they would, I consider those just kind of a bonus item. Whether I do anything with them or not, they'll probably just go into the spare track bin. Well, the Hornby spare track bin. My spare track, I've got big boxes of track of all different types. So yeah, what have we got here then? I mean, I don't even know what does it say this is on the box? It says Rovex Limited Margate. Oh look, we've got one of those. This looks like it's, oh look, it's a yeah, it looks like a, is it a momentary point switch, or is it a, yeah, there's two types, isn't there? There's the one for the points and one for something else. So yeah, I've not got any of those, so maybe we can have fun trying to wire that up. Now I did, talking earlier of the Trix Twin, I probably mentioned this before, but I did wire up the points, the electric points on the Trix Twin, and they just work straight away. And I've got quite a lot of them, and that's the Bakelite 3-rail track. So when I get round to running the Trix, and I might do the video with it only running forwards, because the reversing mechanism is very difficult to get working. I think one of them's even a pre-war one, because of looking at the couplings and things. So, you know, I'll get something running, and the points will work. And so I think I've got 4 or 5 Trix engines, and I have got them set up so they can run with the same orientation but on different rails, and also you can turn them round because it's a 3-rail system and run them. So I might be able to set something. I've got enough controllers, and I've got the thing to actually run 2 trains on, you know, on the 3-rail system. So I will be doing that. Yeah, no, this one I'm quite interested in. So I'm just going to have a quick. Obviously, we'll do a more thorough look at this when we do what's in the box, when we do the actual episode. But yeah, so you just got one straight piece, I think, there, and one kind of crossing, I guess, piece. Does it say it is? Oh, it's a re-railer. So yeah, Hong Kong, it says on them. So I guess Hong Kong was Empire. Battery box, which looks like, yeah, I mean, I'll need to do some research on that, because whether I actually put batteries in it. What does it say here? It tells you there, look, to install battery. to load batteries, blah blah blah. Okay, very interesting. So there we go. What have we got here? Oiling. Yeah, straightforward. Yeah, so I'm probably going to I can cobble this box back together as best I can with bits of glue and things. And yeah, look at that, KS Lao tested 19th of September 1963. So there you go. That gives you the, I haven't looked up this yet, but 1963, that's your answer. So yeah, there we go. I really like this because this is unusual. I haven't got one of these. Good. So that's a really good haul in my opinion. Like I say, I think I paid £14 for the little plastic Japanese one. I think I paid about £22 each for those trying ones because just nobody wants them because, you know. And yeah, £20 for that, and I got these as a bonus. So yeah, I mean that's a good. I'm going to pour a beer now because that's a good haul, isn't it? I think. So I'll have this. It's Friday tomorrow, so that means I should be having a beer and playing with one of these train sets. So during the day, I need to. So the trying sets are going to have to be serviced. I usually present them in the episode after I've serviced them. Sometimes I show the servicing, sometimes I don't. But it just depends really. It just depends what I feel like doing. So, but generally I will tidy the set up a bit, repair the box enough to make it look presentable, and make sure the loco runs. And then in the case of the very old sets, I get them running and film the running first because that's why the Trix Twin episodes I haven't appeared yet because they're not running well enough. When they do, I'll film the rest of the, you know, the introduction and everything. So yeah, so the plan is I'll get all of these running, and that little plastic one, we're going to do that, as I say, we'll do that as part of a, I've got maybe half a dozen of these plastic sets that I just buy when I see them sometimes, just because I'm curious about what toy train sets were available. They're mostly older ones. So I don't think I've done any. I haven't got any modern play train stuff, but I wouldn't buy one new. But you can occasionally find them for like £5 to £10, and if I see one for that sort of money, it's under £15 even, I'd probably buy it just to have a look at it, and see what's in it. So I'll do that one as part of. I'll do all the plastic ones together, and then I've got some other stuff that need a bigger space. So I'm hoping I need to set up outside, but it's been raining, hasn't it? So maybe we won't get the chance to set up outside. But I've got some I've got some Hornby O gauge clockwork to set up outside. I've got some big trying sets with big radius, including the Continental one with the viewing car, and a very interesting modern Mahano set, which looks really good. And I've already shown a bit of that one, and I've got it working, but it just needs. It's not going to fit on this desk, so the priority goes to sets that fit on this desk. So over the next few days, if I do any, there'll be sets that fit on here, but I think they're all gonna, given the price I put, I think they're all gonna need a little bit of work, so we might not see them straight away. It might be another week, depending on how much work they need. So yeah, I'm kind of quite happy with that haul. Sometimes you get lucky So what did I not win? Well, there was another Triang set. I can't remember what it was now. It wasn't as exciting as those two because I think it just had Series 3 track, and I've got loads of those. But because it was low, it was 20 odd quid, I just put in a bid. But I thought if somebody outbids me, I'll just leave it. And the other one was a 1974 Blue Pullman set. So it was the Hornby Railways early logo. And it's the Blue Pullman set with the yellow front and a first radius track. I think it might have had a battery controller. I can't remember. But I put a bid on it and somebody outbid me, and I just thought I don't really need that set. I'm not going to get into bidding more. I think I'd rather just let them have it because I've already got the 1966 Blue Pullman set, which I think is far superior. So I was just interested to see what that would be like, but I suspect it might have had the early System 6 track, which I hate, with the tiny fish plates. It probably would have been a case of running it on modern Hornby track, but it would have been okay. But I just thought I don't really need another Blue Pullman at the moment. But if I get them for this kind of price, it's always worth getting, isn't it? And part of the fun, really, with what I do is just kind of getting these trashy old knackered sets running. So hopefully we'll get some good episodes out of this, and I'll see you in those.